Transgender basically means that a person identifies as a different gender than they were assigned at birth.
You know, the term transgender is an umbrella term. You know, it's transgender, across gender. Types of people that would be considered under the transgender umbrella, which would be cross-dressers, transgenderists, transsexuals, cross-dressers, drag queens, drag kings, intersex people, genderqueer people. All those people fall under the transgender umbrella if they feel that they are that.
I think that your physical body has nothing to do with your gender. You are who you are.
And gender can be a billion different things. It's always a combination of a million different things.
You know, I remember one of the first characters of recent memory that was very negative was Silence of the Lambs. And that character was like, ugh, you know, so if anybody, if that was the only transgender character that was presented on TV or in the movies, then of course everybody was going to figure I was one of these people in the basement, you know, mutilating myself. Well, that's not the case.
Trans representation in the media affects negatively cis and hetero people because they see these negative portrayals and they think, oh, trans women are just these creepy guys that want to wear dresses, which is totally not the case. But that I think that, especially in talking to my very cis, very hetero dad, and he's like, well, this is his perception, and that's from the media. So I've worked hard to try and fix that.
Probably often disconcerting because just the way that trans people are portrayed in mainstream media is so frequently, if there, then a complete joke.
We see a lot of hate speech in the media towards trans people. One of the big ones that really irks me is the putting transgender people at the butt of a joke. Normally you see this in situations where there is a male character who goes out and finds a woman at a bar or a prostitute or something like that, and upon going home discovers that she's actually transgender. And what that does is makes transgender people nothing more than the butt of a joke, and everybody laughs at these jokes anyway, as if, you know, transgender people aren't, you know, real, as if we don't exist. Reinforces the idea that it's normal for trans women to be treated that way, to be treated as if they deserve to be humiliated, deserve physical abuse, mental abuse, deserve to be mistreated in prison, restaurants, you know, just walking out on the street, deserve, you know, the attacks and the catcalls, and that just doesn't make any sense. You know, a trans woman is a woman, is, you know, just a person. We're all, you know, not to be cliche, but, you know, every person deserves the same amount of basic human decency and respect, such as not being, you know, brutally attacked outside of a bar just for being there.
The media depicts transgender people into situations that harm them and other people around them, like rape scenes, one being corrective, like a trans man being raped into trying to get that trans person to act more and become more of a female. And even though that's sad that it's happening right now, but it's not okay. And having such negative violence and things portrayed in the media makes other, or probably will have the idea for non-transgender people to believe that it's okay, and that continues the cycle, and the cycle should be broken.
And you also see a lot of casual transphobia in like news interviews and stuff like that. A lot of people use transphobic slurs without a second thought, as if, you know, it's just a casual thing. And I hate it.
Yeah, there's no question that the media has been a big help, and it's, you know, in the last 10 years, all these different people have been, you know, become more or less media darlings.
Laverne Cox in The Orange is the New Black has been a pretty inspirational role model, because not only is she trans, she's also a twin, and I'm a twin. So I just think that that's an awesome, unique bond that we have.
She is having a good impact by being present in the public eye, I guess, as you're calling it, and I think making a positive difference for trans people.
And she doesn't advocate hate. She wants to spread understanding and love and acceptance for everyone. And given that many transgendered people are, you know, mispronounced and misunderstood by many cisgendered people, it's really great to have her advocating for us and talking and trying to educate other people about this, I guess, strange thing, even though it's perfectly normal.
On the other hand, I worry about like backlash from, say, like this cisgender community, those who are like transphobic and homophobic. But I think that that's going to be a roadblock regardless of when and, you know, how strong the movement comes up. So
I don't think people are ever going to stop saying transphobic things, but I think that it will decline as we get more positive trans representation in the media, as more people come out into the public eye, and those who are uncomfortable with it gain more exposure. They'll learn that trans people are just like everybody else, and it should slow down, but I don't think it'll ever completely stop.
What I prefer to see in the media today when it comes to trans people and trans issues is it to be more positive, educational, and informative.
I'd like to see in the news less focusing on what's your genitalia or when you became a boy, because a lot of trans people were already trans, and it's just the aspect of discovering and figuring out who you are.
it would be really nice to have a shift from showing trans people in negative situations all the time. Whenever we see trans people in the media, say like right now, even though it's in like a dramedy, Orange is the New Black, Laverne Cox plays somebody who is in jail. A lot of times trans women are pitted as stereotyped as prostitutes, homeless, and all of these other things. And given that's important because trans women and the rest of the trans community do suffer from those types of things more so than the cisgender community. But it would be nice if we had a representation of the other side of the trans community, more positive representation. So transgender people in positions of power, transgender people in just regular comedies, and more intertwined with, just regular media rather than just being part of like a specific niche genre, like specifically LGBT movies or specifically LGBT shows. Eventually it would be nice to see transgender people in, say, something as casual as, like a Disney cartoon or something like that.
Showing the legitimate hardships that trans people face, but respecting what their identity is, portraying their gender as what their gender is, and not like, oh, was this and now I'm this. It's like, no, you were always this way, but now are able to more fully express that.
I think the main thing is to get more transgender people involved in advocacy, which is kind of a daunting task. Most of us want to just lead lives as the women or men or genderqueer people we are without being anything more than that, really. But the message doesn't get out if we don't give it. Let people know who we are. So I don't know what the media needs to do. I think it's really on us. Let the media know we're there, and the media will come.